Okay, so I really wanted to tell my story a little bit. Getting started, I'll go back to right before I moved into Philippines. I was in the Army. I originally from Mississippi, born and raised. Joined when I was 19 years old. Went off to basic training, AIT, and then I got stationed in Hawaii. So typically it's a 3-year tour. That's fine. I did my time. I got deployed that first go round for 15 months in Iraq. And then I came back for about 6 months. And then I went to India for about 2 months. And then after that, I kind of went back to normal life in the military on active duty back in Hawaii. I didn't come up on orders, so therefore I was just still on the island in Oahu. So here comes 2010, another round of NTC, National Training Center, Fort Irwin, California. And then after that was about 60 days. Then redeployment. We went back to Iraq for that time, just for 12 months. And we had, the mission was quite different, but I was still in the same exact unit. I was on a PSD team. And that didn't last very long. It was just a useless team of people. But I ended up getting injured on January 22nd, 2011. I was blown up. I got hit by a mortar attack. It was a rocket blast, shrapnel to the head, traumatic brain injury. And I didn't think nothing of it until I'd say about 5-6 months later, and it was time to go back to Hawaii. And then I was just getting into a lot of shenanigans, which I thought was normal, And I realized that my life had just been turned completely upside down. I was suffering the effects of PTSD. And then from there, I had a back injury that happened when I was deployed my second tour. The military, they're not too good at accommodating things such as back problems or PTSD while you're still in the service. So, you have to go to sick call all the time and just bitch and complain just to get anything documented, anything just to get some relief, pain relief. So I had, after about a year of complaining, I finally was able to get surgery to get some relief because I couldn't walk normal. I couldn't work. I was out of work for a long time. And I had surgery. And then 8 weeks later, I had a small injury that resulted in another surgery in my lower back. And then just kind of went off the rails from there. So basically, I was coming up on my last year or so in the Army. So still in Hawaii, just partying it up, that didn't care. And I ended up getting out. I knew that I couldn't go back to Mississippi. I hate this place. It's one of the worst states. It's just, after living internationally, it's depressing, So that's when I packed everything up. Decided, okay, I had like 92 days saved up from leave. I accrued a lot of leave time. And so I decided to sell 1 month back to the Army. I took 60 days terminal leave, which is basically you get out, they extend out your date that you leave the military, and you still continue to get paid as if you're still active. just to burn out those leave days. So I did that. This was the beginning of 2013. And I said, hey, I'm moving to Philippines, just let everything go. I didn't really care. I was 25 at the time, had just turned 25. And I ended up being just riding space A flights, just jumping from Air Force Base to Air Force Base, trying to catch the nearest or next flight to get to where I needed to be, ultimately the Philippines. So I did that. I came in. The furthest I could get was like Guam. And then I was stuck in Guam for a few days. And then I decided, okay, I'm just going to buy a ticket going to Manila. I went into Manila. That's when I moved in there for a few months. I lived in Mandaluyong. I really didn't like it. I knew that Cebu was a place that I really liked because I had visited there twice on vacation in 2011, the same year that I got injured. And so I knew that getting back to Cebu was like very important. And so that's what I did. I moved back to Cebu after like 3 months in the Metro Manila area. This was way before it was super developed like it is now. And got back there, just kind of wrote it out, filed all my disability stuff with the VA there in Manila, the VA outpatient clinic in Manila and Pasay City. And they took care of everything. Originally got an 80% disability rating at that time, still 25 years old. I had got a lot of back pay, so I was able to give me a place to stay for a while. I was able to live comfortably. And that's when my whole journey began. I met the mother of my firstborn son. We met and we dated. We moved in together after a while. We moved around a bit just because I was curious. I like bouncing from place to place like every year, just because there's a lot of adventure available. You travel, you explore. It's very affordable and cheap. And I love that, if you make the money that we make, even on a disability, you're doing really good. Granted that you can keep your finances together, but yeah, we're doing really good. And I, I went through some challenges, some of the darkest times, my PTSD days. Didn't think I needed like real therapy. So I just kind of shrugged it off. I, moved on. I decided to go to school. I went to a culinary school in Cebu, International Culinary School. It's ISCAM, International School of Culinary Arts and Hotel Management. And they're in Panagtait, right at the edge of Cebu and Mandawi. And I loved it. I met a lot of good friends. Kept me busy, kept me focused. I enjoyed it a lot. And I did that. I didn't complete right at the end of the course just because of it was like OJT stuff that I just really didn't care to do. I knew I wasn't that much of a social person. It was just one of those things where I knew that was the end of it for me. So yeah, I didn't really get my diploma in the program, but I did pick up all the skills and I loved it, And so after that was the same year that my first son was born. And oh man, it changed my life forever. I remember that, it was really difficult, it was stressful, but in the end, when he was born, I was very, very happy. I cried, I never thought I was able to cry like that. I thought I was so numb. And then after that, things went on for a while. My mom came to visit in the Philippines. That didn't really work out too well. She's She's kind of ignorant. She's at that point in her life where she doesn't really care to learn anything new, and it's one of those things. And she stayed for like 3 months, and then she was out of there. But yeah, I mean, ever since then we've gone on, and life has been pretty normal, pretty boring. But it was really exciting. After that, things didn't really work out with me and the mother of my firstborn son. There's just a lot of issues that, I think a lot of them were me as well, with the PTSD. Not knowing how bad or how deep my problems really went. The trauma, the brain injury, which I never knew how complicated and complex that issue was as well. And so I've tried everything, from the VA has to offer, from medications to electrotherapy, electroshock, and just none of it ever worked. I knew that it was something deep within me that I needed to work through and get out. And that's part of the reason I came back to the US for a little while, was to work through those issues. And I was very fortunate because I was able to go to Boston, utilize a program, and that's part of Massachusetts General Hospital, which is like, I guess you could say, it is the research and it's the hospital, but they also have a very far reach in the community. It's the hospital of Harvard Medical School, and they have the best psychiatric care in the world, and they have a program called Home Base, which is for veterans, combat PTSD veterans, and then they will take you through a 2-week intensive care program, and it's really intense. So it's equal to about 8 weeks of therapy. So I did that this year, and I came back feeling great. Of course, they give you all the materials to take home with you so that you can keep up with it. And a lot of it's on you. You have to keep up with it. You can't just say, okay, I went to therapy, I'm all healed, back to life. No, it's not going to work like that. And so you have to also work with the people that are involved in your daily life as well, because they don't understand that they might think you're going to come back changed, till a totally different person. But that's not how it works. You have to also let them know that you're in a mode of like healing. You need some understanding, you need some patience, you need some, you need help from and support from everyone that you can, that typically interact with on a daily basis, or whatever, So, I did that, and luckily I got my treatment, I got everything taken care of, and then I'm ready to go back to Philippines. I'm ready to go back to my family. My life is in Philippines. It has been, I'm reaching the 8-year mark where that's been my life. And it's been really eye-opening here in the US, especially during the virus pandemic. It's been really strange because we've had a crazy year here, and it's not something that I enjoy being a part of. I would much rather be with my family, with my kids, just doing whatever, I'm missing out on precious years of their lives. They're 4 years old and 2 years old. I have one that my 4-year-old's about to be 5 in December, so I'm also trying to get back to the Philippines so that, hey, I can be back there for him I don't want it to go a whole year that I've been gone. I'm reaching that point, though. It's 10 months. So, it is what it is. Some people are powerless. There's only certain things you can realistically do to, as far as international travel, being granted special exceptions just because of visa situations. And I'm thankful for that, because I really need to get back to people that are important to me, that I care for, and make my life complete. But I'll keep you guys updated, and I really appreciate you guys listening to my story. And if you don't mind, please like and subscribe, comment, ask questions, and I will get back to you. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.